Whether you play in an SMP or single-player world, netherite is insanely powerful. However, it's incredibly rare and difficult to obtain without the right strategies. And that's why I created a method I call conditional mining, which is incredibly cheap and requires no prep time. You can average 70 ancient debris and 7 stacks of gold per hour without breaking a single netherite pickaxe. However, before we begin, I must first explain how ancient debris generation works. So, one cluster of ancient debris 0 to 3 spawns in a chunk between Y levels 8 to 24, and an additional cluster of 0 to 2 spawns between Y levels 8 to 119. Since Y levels 8 to 119 covers a massive range, we can disregard this information for this method. In Java Edition, you find the most netherite at Y levels 15, so this is the place that we will mine at. Next, I need to explain how to turn on chunks, which you do in vanilla by pressing G F3 or function G F3 if that doesn't work. If you're using a launcher like Lunar, then you can turn it on in the mod section just like this. Now that you have all the core information, I can explain how this method works. The premise of chunk mining is to mine a chunk at Y level 15 until you find netherite. When we find netherite, we mine it, and immediately move onto a different chunk since only 0 to 3 ancient debris can spawn in one. For example, if we found 3, then we would know that the rest of the chunk doesn't have any more netherite. Therefore, it's a waste of time to mine the rest of the chunk, which saves significant time. Now, before I do a 3-minute demo of my own gameplay and explain my thought processes, I'm going to first explain why conditional mining is so powerful by using a mental experiment. Okay, so, for this mental experiment, I'm going to assume that there's 99 netherrack and 1 ancient debris in every chunk. So this means that if I'm blindfolded, if I pick a random block here, then it has a 1% chance of being ancient debris. Now let's say I get some bad luck here, I mine 50 blocks. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I pick a random block over here, then are the odds still 1% of it being netherite? Nope. Since we mined 50 netherrack over here, we now know that we have 49 netherrack remaining and 1 ancient debris. This means that the odds of me randomly mining a block and it being ancient debris is now 2% instead of 1%. Now let's say I get some even worse luck. Mine all these here, and I mine all these. Since I mined 98 netherrack, I now have 1 ancient debris and 1 netherrack remaining. This means that if I randomly choose a block in this chunk, it has a 50% chance of being netherite. This time I get really lucky, and I mine 2 blocks, and one of these happens to be ancient debris. This means that I mined all the ancient debris in this chunk, and therefore there's no reason for me to mine the rest of these, as you can see over here. This means that instead of randomly mining this and wasting my time mining netherrack in this chunk, I'm just going to move on to the next chunk over here, and I'm just going to repeat the process until I find netherrack. I'm going to keep mining, and oh, I found netherrack. I'm not going to bother mining the rest of this chunk now, because I already found the netherite, so I'm just going to move on to the next one. And that's the reason why this method is so powerful, because if you don't find netherite immediately, then every block you mine gives the next block a higher chance of being netherite. But if you do find netherite immediately, or pretty quickly, then you can skip the entire chunk completely, and then you can move on to the next chunk, which saves us a lot of time. Now here's a few minutes of my mining and talking about my thought process. So I just got my stuff from creative mode. You want some fire resistance, and I'll use the touch pickaxe for mine gold, and this one to mine netherrack. And yeah, you really don't need much. You basically only need this. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I don't really like this biome. This biome is pretty bad. Not a very lucky spawn. The reason why you don't really like the biome is because it's really hard to mine. So you want to get out of this biome later, if possible. Let's just get out of here. Okay, you're finally out of here. Okay. Yeah, we want to try to move away from this biome. Okay. Splash some fire resistance. Ow. And let's go down. So the Y level we're looking for is Y level 15. You can turn it on by tapping F3, or function F3. But I have a coordinate font from my top left corner previously. Okay, found a chunk border. So now that we found a chunk border, let's just mine in a 3x2 like this. It's just the most efficient way to mine, like mathematically. So yeah, I'm gonna mine 3 blocks this way, and then I'm gonna try to leave 2 blocks this way while I mine. So I mine a 3 here, and then I mine this way, and I leave 2 blocks here. I don't mind these because this is like not very difficult to mine. And I mine 3x2 this way, and then I'm gonna leave 2 blocks here. Or I'm going to try to at least. I'm going to do this. Yeah, let's avoid Blackstone completely, so we can go this way. Let's just avoid that completely. And we don't find netherite in this chunk. Let's go to the next one here. Let's avoid the Blackstone. Here. And I'm gonna leave 2 blocks here, this one. And I'm gonna mine 3 this way here. Oh, there's lava. Try to avoid the lava and okay. Found ancient debris. Always make sure to mine around the ancient debris here, and okay, we don't find anything. Because we mined the netherite in this chunk, we now know that there's no more netherite in this chunk because of how it generates. So we're not going to look in here anymore, and I'm just going to go to the next one here. Okay. And always make sure to take some quartz as well to heal that pickaxe. We're going to mine right here, and oh, we got really lucky here. Found ancient debris. We're going to mine around it. Although we don't find anything. But since we found the ancient debris in this chunk here, we're not going to look in here anymore. We're just going to go to the one to the left here. And we're just going to keep on doing this. This is really hard to mine, so we don't want to be mining this. We're going to try to avoid that basalt biome completely. We're going to avoid the blackstone. I'll take the quartz stone. And I'm going to move on to this chunk. I would suggest that you always make sure to go in one direction, because you might accidentally go to the same place, or like a place you've already mined the netherite. So yeah, I'd always suggest to go to a middle area. Or to the left. Yeah, you can always make sure to... You can also pick some gold up if you want. And a trick you can do is once you pick up some gold, is you can throw your netherrack away, kind of like this. I don't have a drop key, but you can do this here, and this just gives you more inventory space, so you don't have to worry about it. Conditional mining, or you can call it chunk mining, it doesn't really matter. I think it's the same, okay. We found ancient debris in this chunk now. In both of these chunks, we found it in this chunk and this chunk, so we're just going to move on from here, and we're just going to go over here, and we're just going to repeat the process. Yeah. And okay, well, just past 8 minutes off, we found 7. Not very good luck, but, you know, it is what it is. This is, at the end of the day, finding netherite is like luck based. If you learned anything or enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, as it took a really long time to make. If you want to check the legitimacy of this method, or want to improve your own mining, I also have a 1-hour off footage video in the description. Thanks for watching!